People don't simply believe ideas, they build identities around them. And once an idea becomes part of your identity, questioning it can feel like a personal attack. Now, in my last video, I examined what I called the manosphere. Today, I want to examine another phenomenon that I believe follows many of the same psychological patterns. I call it the Whiteosphere. Now, before anyone gets defensive, let me define exactly what I mean. The Whiteosphere is not white people. It is not European heritage. It is not patriotism. It is not ordinary political conservatism. And it certainly isn't every white person who is concerned about immigration, race, or cultural change. When I use the term Whiteosphere, I'm referring to an online ecosystem of commentators, influencers, media personalities, and communities that continually reinforce one central narrative: that white Americans are becoming the primary victims of modern society. It is a worldview that interprets social change primarily through the lens of white grievance. Now, within this ecosystem, immigration becomes evidence that white people are being replaced. Diversity initiatives become evidence that white people are now the victims of discrimination. Changes in the media become evidence that white voices are being erased. And nearly every political disagreement becomes one more confirmation that America is under attack from forces determined to marginalize white people. Now, none of these issues are automatically irrational. Immigration deserves debate. Affirmative action deserves debate. Crime deserves debate. Education deserves debate. Every healthy democracy should be able to have those conversations. But I ask a different question. Does every issue have to become another chapter in the same story of victimhood? Because once every event is interpreted through one emotional narrative, critical thinking begins to disappear. Whenever one explanation begins answering every question, skepticism becomes more important than ever. That is where I believe the Whiteosphere begins. My first question is not, is this conservative? Nor would I ask, is this liberal? My first question is, where is the evidence? I believe fear has always been one of humanity's favorite tools of persuasion. Religion has used it. Politics uses it. Media uses it. Influencers use it. Fear keeps people watching. Fear keeps people clicking. Fear keeps people donating. Fear keeps people angry. And angry audiences are remarkably profitable. We should be suspicious of anyone who constantly tells us we are surrounded by enemies. Because once people accept that story, they stop asking difficult questions. Everything becomes proof. Every disagreement confirms the narrative. Every criticism becomes persecution. That isn't skepticism. That's confirmation bias. I noticed something else. The Whiteosphere doesn't merely offer information. It offers identity. It offers belonging. It tells lonely and frustrated people, you found the people who finally understand what's really happening. And once identity becomes attached to a movement, facts become secondary. Loyalty becomes primary. Question the movement, and suddenly you're naive. Question the evidence, and suddenly you've joined the other side. Question the influencers, and suddenly you betrayed the cause. That isn't critical thinking. That's tribal thinking. I encourage people to question everyone. Question preachers. Question politicians. Question journalists. Question professors. Question popular speakers. Most importantly, question yourself. The moment someone tells you that questioning them is betrayal, that should be the moment you become even more skeptical. One of the saddest ironies is that grievance movements often promise freedom while creating dependence. Dependence upon the next outrage, the next podcast, the next controversy, the next warning that civilization is collapsing. If every day convinces you that disaster is just around the corner, someone else has taken control of your emotional life. I remind us that resentment rarely produces wisdom. It produces anxiety. It produces suspicion. It produces bitterness. And eventually, it becomes an identity. But here's the deeper point. This isn't just about what I call the Whiteosphere. It's also about the manosphere. It's about any movement that convinces people their identity is under constant attack, and then asks them to build their entire worldview around that fear. Different groups, different stories. The same psychological pattern. Your race should never become your religion. Your politics should never become your religion. Your nation should never become your religion. Your ideology should never become your religion. Because the moment identity becomes sacred, reason becomes a blasphemy. The healthiest societies are built by citizens willing to criticize their own side. The healthiest minds are built by people willing to say, I might be wrong. That isn't weakness. That is intellectual courage. That courage is the beginning of genuine freedom. Now, if you enjoyed this discussion, subscribe for more conversations exploring today's cultural movements through the lens of philosophy, psychology, skepticism, and critical thinking. Until next time, keep asking better questions.